Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Taylor Andre. You are tuned in to Taylor Made Real Estate Easy. And today we are speaking with Max Delafew, and we are going to talk about the market. Let's talk about what this looks like for sellers, what it looks like for buyers, what to expect this season. No one wants to buy during Christmas, but this could be the biggest time to buy if you know what's going on. And so, without any further ado, Max, how are you?
Hi, Taylor. How are you? It's great to see you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming on and educating us on what the market currently looks like as far as real estate is concerned. And not just, typically we're always talking to the buyers about what the market looks like, but really capturing what this could look like for sellers and what
Sure.
it means putting your house on the market and getting the best and what to expect out of the buyers and the offers that people will be receiving. And so, first of all, who is Max and how and why is he on the best team ever?
Wow, thanks. That's a great question. My name's Max Delphew. What we ended up seeing was, or Sean kind of caught wind that, that the Spanish market is going to be a massive market within the next couple of years. There's actually a really cool fact too, is that it's within by 2040, over 72% of first-time home buyers will be Latino. So obviously, there's just kind of a massive opportunity there, and just like a really good chance to serve that community. I've been a loan officer for about 7 years myself. I was born in Argentina, which is where the Spanish comes from. It's my first language. And yeah, so I started at guaranteed rate a couple years ago now. Ended up going somewhere else, and then there was just an opening here. I got connected with the manager here. I spoke with him, and I just really liked his vibe. And obviously, this is the number one lending team in the country, and who wouldn't want to be part of that?
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of just a perfect storm. Sean saw an opportunity there in that that Hispanic market, and I saw an opportunity to kind of jump onto this team and provide their service into that market, and then just kind of learn from these people, because they're, again, I don't want to keep saying it, but you got to be pretty special to be the number one team, like in the whole country. So it's, I've been learning a lot about just mastering my craft here, but also just a lot about other things and how you should, conduct your day and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And so, shout out to you, shout out to your team, number one in the country. If you guys were unaware, now you know. And so, you said 46% are
No,
going
so by 2040, 72% of first time home buyers.
by 2040, 72% of first time home buyers are going to be Latino.
Yeah, staggering stat.
That's insane.
It's unbelievable. I know.
So what does that mean for those that don't speak Spanish? Like
No
home
houses. No, I'm
buyers.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. So I think one thing that's really important to kind of look into that too is that it's first time home buyers. So obviously, people that have been in the market, they're still going to be kind of doing the same thing, whether they're upsizing or they've bought and had kids, buy and sell, things like that. Um, it's just kind of an important stat to kind of keep in mind, because like you said, what happens to everyone else? They're still going to get the same service that we serve here.
Mhm.
It's just going to be, I don't want to say more competitive, because that's not the correct word, I guess. What it really kind of does entail is that there are more Latinos coming into the country. So that's kind of plays like a larger scale.
Yeah. So are there any differences, like speaking for the agents, speaking for loan officers, attorneys, is there anything specific that we should be preparing for with this influx of Latino buyers versus, you know, the buyers that we've seen prior to 2040?
Yeah. And this is kind of just from my personal experience. Again, I've been doing it for about 7 years, and I would say that 95% um, of my business is Spanish speaking, and they are usually first time home buyers. I'd say out of that 95%, 99% are first time home buyers. Um, and and mainly, it is just kind of a cultural difference, I'd say. Um, they're people that kind of, one, don't know what their opportunities are here, so they kind of think it's this impossible dream. So it's I'd want to say, I don't want to say like hand holding in like a bad way, but it is a good opportunity to educate them and explain to them the process, as opposed to someone that that grew up here their whole life, kind of has a basic understanding of what is of what is involved, even if it's kind of wrong. Sometimes, people understand like, oh, like I need a down payment and I need 20%. That's a myth, that's a lie that people know, but they kind of know that because they hear it.
Yeah.
Where as opposed to maybe like people in the Spanish speaking community, they have kind of no idea. So it's an opportunity for us to sit down with them and explain the process, and just kind of educate them on the whole thing. um, and then again, culturally, it's people that might come here, and they start off and they have to work two jobs. They don't open bank accounts, they keep all their cash under the mattress. Not great with technology, things like that, which aren't bad things. They're just things that they don't think about. Like I wouldn't have think anything of it if I wasn't in this industry either, but I understand that sometimes it's just a different clientele and different things like that you have to go through to get them into a home.
Mm-hmm. And so, shameless plug. If you did not know, I wrote a book. It's called Finally Home, the step by
Oh yeah.
step guide for people preparing for first time home ownership. But there's also a Spanish version, and it's a book, an audio book, and a course. And it's like Felizmente en la Casa. So,
Sí. Muy bien.
so I can't translate it
That's
clearly.
awesome. That's awesome.
I saw 4 years ago just how many of my Latino clients were not properly educated or prepared, and so the book was to get them prepared for purchasing in the future.
That's
And
great.
you made a really good point, because that's something that's not in the book about making sure that your funds are in the bank account. So that's
Yeah.
something we might need a second edition prior to 2040.
Yeah, you can cite me if you want.
When we talk about like the market, what does the market right now tell us? Are
Okay.
prices like, let's talk about sellers for a moment. As a seller, what can I expect as far as like, it's December, people are ready for the holidays. I don't know if I want to list my home now or if I want to list it in April or May. What does it look like for me, the seller, to list now or within the next 3 months?
Okay, so I mean, one, they got to list with you. Two, and then look what I feel like I see. What I deal with most of the time when it comes to the seller side, they're in like a sell buy situation. So it's people that have bought maybe about like a year ago or 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
that have gained like incredible equity within their homes if they're around this area in Massachusetts. That have gained a ton of equity, and it's people that are either they're looking to upsize their home. They have they just got a child, a second child, looking to maybe it was their starter home, and they now have an opportunity to get into where they feel is like a dream home. So in that switch from like being a seller to a buyer, I just think that they're in a really, really good position, one, to get a good deal on their home. Because one, inventory is low, and everything just goes back to supply versus demand.
Mm-hmm.
There is still a huge demand for homes. That's never going to go away. Um, and there are still a lot of people that are looking for homes in a place in a time right now where you might know like there's probably kind of low inventory. So there's not a lot of supply and there's a ton of demand for it. So sellers are still getting like excellent deals on their homes. Um, and then they're getting excellent deals when they become the buyer as well. And I can tell you why if you like, but I could explain later on once we switch to like the buyer if you want to speak about
Oh,
that.
This sounds like a great segue.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and segue into what that looks like for buyers. Really quickly, before we segue into the buyers, as far as
Yeah.
sellers are concerned, let's say, for instance, like I'm looking to sell and move in with my sister, or move in with a family member. I'm moving in with my kids.
Okay.
I'm learning that empty nesters don't like being alone, and so that's the reason why they're selling, and to like go live with someone because they miss the companionship. They miss a noisy and a busy home.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so they're letting go, but also not ready to purchase something either.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I actually haven't thought about that in a way. I mean, if they feel, well, I mean, one again, I still think sellers are getting excellent deals on their homes, especially with the amount of equity year after year that they've gained. They, someone that bought 10 years ago has gained an incredible amount of equity at this point. If they're selling, moving out, and moving in with their kids now, or whatever it is, and they want to buy within a certain time frame, we're very bullish on the buy market. We feel like it's about to be like an excellent time to buy rates wise. We feel as if by the end of 2025, rates could be within, in like the mid to low fives, which could be a really, really good time to buy a year from now as well, because traditionally, this time of the year does kind of hold less competition if they're able to stay in a home for a year. You know what I mean? If an in-law wants to keep you for that long and things like that. But again, what I kind of look back to is that someone that's looking to sell just has like an immense amount of equity, and home prices are only going to keep going up as well, because it goes back to that supply versus demand. There's not a lot of inventory out there, so people are willing to pay a lot of money to own a home. And like I mentioned before, owning a home or a need of home ownership, like it's just not going to go away, especially in a country like this.
Yeah. All right, let's bring it to our buyers. What do our buyers have to look forward to in this market? And how should I prepare to be the best?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, starting with current day right now, we think it's just like a really, really, and I sound like a broken record. I know I keep saying it, but it's a really good time to buy. What we're seeing personally is we're seeing a lot less competition. This time of the year brings that. You kind of mentioned it, but it's like it's the holidays. People kind of tend to kind of slow down a little bit, enjoy time with their family, spend the
Mhm.
holidays, and kind of relax and not take on this ordeal. Two, honestly, kind of obvious. Like if you're in this area, no one wants to move out in the cold and the snow and the sleet and stuff like that. So if they
Mhm.
don't have to, they feel like they don't need to. Um, and then lastly is it's kind of for parents, especially it's the middle of the school year. Um, we just see that not many parents want to yank their kids out of their school halfway through the year and start them over in a new place and stuff like that, which is why the spring market is always so competitive, because they feel like this is perfect end of the school year, and then we're gonna get going. What we also see is that it's not as competitive. It's a really cool stat that we have, but every time an interest rate goes up or down, so for example, if an interest rate goes down by 1%, 5 million more people get added into the buyer search, pretty much, into the market.
Mm.
So that's something to keep in mind when you're kind of speaking to a client. You're saying, hey, like honestly, right now is a really good time. Home prices aren't going to go anywhere. They're not. For the people waiting for the market to crash and all that. That's just not going to happen. Next year, we feel that homes are still going to appreciate, and then rates are going to be lower. So adding an extra percent is adding 5 million more people into the market. That's just a ton of more competition, a ton of more over offers, waiving inspections, waiving commitments, stuff like that, because you're probably dealing with like 30 other people that are putting offers in. Where
Mhm.
right now, what we see are accepted offers. No one's waiving inspection. No one's waiving their mortgage commitment. We're even seeing like seller credits, which I know in the last couple of years, like that wasn't really a thing. but we're even seeing seller credits that help our buyers, pay for their closing costs, buy down their rate, and things like that. So that's why we just feel like if people are ready to go now, it's super advantageous to take it. And then that's just what we tell people a lot of times too. Like if you really think that home prices are going down, like you're gonna wait a really, really long time to buy a home.
How do I prepare? How do I make myself so prepared that my offer cannot be overlooked?
So, I mean, one, I think, and this might just kind of sound obvious, but it's like doing your homework, having just have the right people around you, know that your pre-approval is good for it, know that your agent can talk you um, into not making decisions based off of emotion. Speak with your fine your loan officer and your agent, and kind of come up with a number and say, hey, this is what I feel really comfortable paying a month. This is what that purchase looks like. I know sometimes people can kind of go into a home and think like, oh my God, this is it, and kind of throw that whole plan away. But I think the best way to prepare is literally just kind of doing your homework around the market, seeing that homes are appreciating. So if you do go over asking, is knowing, how if I go over asking, when will this house be worth that? How long does that take? When do I kind of break even in a sense? Yeah, I mean, I would just say things like that. It's just have the correct team around you, and prepare, and just have a game plan.
Mm. And so what does let me take a step back. You guys are the best. And I'm trying to bring you into saying what I want you to say without saying it for you. Why are you guys the best? Why is your team the best team to get a pre-approval from?
So, I mean, we have things like like a power bid, for example. We completely fully underwrite your loan right up from the front, so that you're good for it. Which for our borrowers, gives them a ton of confidence when they are out house shopping, because they know that they're good for it. They know exactly what they can go up to, and they feel a sense of confidence every time they put the offer in. Our customer service, Sean, and this is a shout out to Sean himself that has built this. But he has like an incredible 96% like approval rating, pretty much saying that like 96% of people that he's ever worked with like are going to work with him again.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like the industry standard that like blows it out of the water. So that's a shout out to him, and like a testament to his work and stuff like that, which is again, one of the reasons I'd like to be here. And then I would say that, and again, it's something that Sean said that I think was funny. When he started off, he said a financial advisor asked him one day, hey, like, what kind of people are you looking for? Like, should I send over your way? Like, what should they be ready to do and whatever? And he just said, if they're looking to buy a house, send them. And he means that. Like, it's crazy. Like, this team, I've been at other companies, I've been on other teams, and this team knows every single product that is available out there. When people say, oh, we have an immense category of products, they're not kidding. They actually study it. They go through it. They try and put their buyers and their clients in the best positions possible. And then it's just a commitment to kind of doing the correct thing, and getting people and educating, and then again, just liking it. I think everyone that around here just really likes what they do, and they feel an immense pride of being able to be part of the team and be able to help borrowers and help people, achieve their goals of home ownership, whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're a multi-time investor, if you're just retiring and looking for a second home, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just got a kick out of that. So it's fun. It's fun to be around here and just kind of sharpen your tools with some of the best in the industry. I don't know if that's a good answer, but
So yes, that is a great answer, but it doesn't. So I'm just going to please tell us what the how you pre-qualify people or pre-approve people and to get them to the closing table faster, and some of the products that you do work with versus some of the products that you don't work with, so people can be aware of whether or not your company, your team is the best for them.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, I mean, just business wise, like I mentioned, we have the power bid approval. We fully underwrite your loan. So when we pre-approve you, we go through pretty much three things. It's like your credit, your assets, and your income.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll ask for your pay stubs, we'll pull your credit, and it's a soft pull at first too. So it doesn't affect the credit score or anything like that. And then we look at your assets too to have an understanding of how much money you have that's liquid that you're ready to use, or how much money that you have, tucked away somewhere else that you're looking to use as well. We gather all that, pre-approve you, and then from there, we have pretty much most of the documents to send it into underwriting pretty much. So usually what
So what
happens.
does that mean? Like said you're speaking Spanish. No, but now you're speaking a completely different language. I don't even know, what does that mean? Like, why is it important for me to be sent into underwriting?
Yeah,
What do you mean a soft pull? Like, break this down like I know nothing.
sure. So when someone has an accepted offer, right, we send it into what's called underwriting. Underwriting is essentially a full scale review of the file itself, so of the application, the documents that were given, the income, how it was calculated, everything like that. Um, they essentially approve the loan. It'll come out usually approved, and it'll have conditions. It'll have commitment with approvals. Excuse me, commitment with conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it'll be like, we're waiting on the title work. We need the appraisal. We need to explain maybe one large deposit that's been in the bank account, things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes out approved, we look at that. We say, okay, we can get all that for you, no problem. We get all the stuff that's outstanding for the underwriter to finalize it. We send it back in to them once we have everything she wants. Send it back in to the underwriter. They review that, and then that's when you get what's called the clear to close. So that email that you get from your lender, like, hey, we've just got the clear to close, and it's like the best. That's essentially what happens. What we do is the front part. We do it at the beginning. So we send it into what I just explained is underwriting before you even have a property. So one of the conditions that comes out is contingent to finding a property. But essentially, you kind of know that the loan amount and the is going to be approved by us. Like, you're good for the money, you're good for the financing part of it. And then obviously, God forbid you do find a home, disaster happens, you get an appraisal, and the appraisal comes back and like the whole thing's a mess, the foundation's ruined, or there's whatever, those types of things that are kind of out of our control. That's when you'd have to take a step back. But you will always know on our end if you have a power bid approval, that you're good for the financing part of it. So that's a huge thing for us. We have another reason why we're so quick. Once you do get power bid, we can close within 10 days. It can be 2 weeks to 10 days. It's very fast. So that helps our agents to put in an offer with very fast closing times and things like that. And you can kind of waive commitment, things like that, to kind of entice the bar a little bit if they're in the the seller a little bit, if they're in a rush to sell the home. That's always a huge thing for us. And again, they just know that they're good for the financing. They won't run into any problems through that. Then other than that, we do everything in-house. We have a whole dedicated team that's just to us, that works 20 feet away from you, not even. So that always just helps, is that the constant communication and just understanding of where every file is sitting in, what it is that we need, things like that. And then I know you asked for what a soft pull is. So usually a soft pull versus like a hard pull. A hard inquiry will always show up in your credit score. If you get like a car loan, or if you finalize a credit card bill and things like that, you're going to get a hard inquiry on your credit report, as opposed to what we do. We just do a soft pull. We do end up doing a hard pull once you do have an accepted offer in, but we just do a soft pull to be able to look at a screenshot of your score pretty much, and then see what liabilities that a borrower has. Liabilities doesn't, like, their car loans they pay out every month, if they have student loans, their credit card bills, and things like that. But
and so you can you can push me. So with a soft pull, I'll be able to close in 10 days.
So what happens is when you get an accept, when you find a property, we do the hard pull.
Okay.
Mhm.
But with that soft pull will get me to the closing table within 10 to 14 days.
Yeah, because we'll have pretty much, it's essentially the same report. It's just not a hard inquiry on the report.
I need you to say that again for the people in the back.
Yeah, I mean it's again, it's not a hard pull, so but it's essentially the same report that we see. It's just that once we do the hard pull, you'll have the inquiry on it. But yeah, no, absolutely.
And so can we please go over the overall market? Let's talk numbers. Let's look at the market. Can we do two of the biggest markets right now are Boston, Brockton, and Attleboro. Can we take a look at Boston, Brockton, Attleboro when it comes to numbers and when it comes to like what we should expect? Um, and I would love if, because I can run my mouth. I'd love for you to pull up. Can you pull up the one that you guys ran for me on 335 Linwood, the property that I currently have on the market, and share screen? You should be able to present. It should let you present
Yeah,
without
let me
the
see if
app.
I have that. I did get something from Johnny, but I don't know if it was a specific. Let me see.
And so the type of reports that Max's team has access to is absolutely incredible. And so for my property, 335 Linwood, the beautiful mini mansion in Brockton, they basically told me what the equity is going to look like in 5 years on this property, what to expect of the market as a whole in Brockton, what to expect as far as like interest, like it just the way they break everything down. I've never seen anything like this. And if you've been to an open house before, they give you the little book and it tells you about the house, and then it tells you about like, oh, the school system is a mile away and the favorite pizza shop is down the street.
Yeah,
But this report is like, listen, in 5 years, this is what your equity is going to look
yeah,
like. In 10 years, this is what you can expect. If you're trying to buy and hold, if you're trying to buy and flip, if you're trying to buy and sell, everything that you could possibly want to know about a house, they have it.
right.
And you
So
can get to them through me. How about that? No.
yeah, right. So I don't know if I have the. I don't think they sent me the one that's just property specific, but I do have a report on pretty much all of Brockton, like a market
Okay.
insight on Brockton. If you want me to
Mhm.
send that, cool. So I just
Yes, please. And I'm going to see if I can go ahead and find it and send it to you.
cool.
And you have access to share screen, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, is that working?
Yep. Just added it in. Go
Oh,
ahead.
is that it right there? All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is what we have here. This is just one of the things that we have. Like you said, you got one for like a property specific. This is essentially, a market insight into Brockton, and this is a weekly market insight. So if you scroll down, it literally just kind of shows you what they're all kind of showing. Their restaurants, info, single family homes in Brockton, top right. And then you kind of just like you just get a ton of data on these things. So the median list price in Brockton is at 515. The median price of new listings is at 499. You get a per square foot, that you'd be making. You kind of start looking to, which I always like to look at, is like the average days on the market. You can kind of see it's ticking up just a little bit in Brockton after last. It's 46 days, and then median days on the market is 28. 36% of the homes have shown a price decrease, where 3% of the homes have shown a price increase. You have this market action index over here too, so it still shows that it's a very strong seller's market. And then just gives you like this narrative as well. Kind of shows the market's been cooling over time, prices have plateaued, and then just things like that. So I think it's really cool. It shows the median rent as well in Brockton, which is always like a really good, I think just really good stat to kind of know for any city, because any client that's looking to buy anywhere is obviously is currently renting right now if they're first time home buyers. And this is always just like a really good tale of, hey, if you're paying $3,025 a month for someone else's home, why don't you just try and take a look at what it is that you could possibly buy, and be paying a month as well. And in the meantime, it's like you're paying yourself, you're building up equity on your home, and your homeowner, which is just, again, there's another stat, I believe, like a homeowner has their net worth in the United States is almost 400,000 as compared to the net worth of someone that rents is $10,000. So that's just like a really cool stat, I believe, as well. And then this is pretty much like we can do all these kinds of things for every single any sort of city. Again, median list price, it's showing these little dots right here showing you this time last year. So where it was last year compared to right now. This is the same date in 2023, things like that. So that's the median list price. Obviously, has been going up. It's a 90-day average. Excuse me, not a 90-day average. So just kind of slowly trickling up. This is here just kind of more data here so every line is a different type of kind of day. And then price per square foot graph. The inventory it's been showing. So, inventory kind of slowly comes down a little bit around this time, as opposed to, so May 2020 was up, comes down, comes back. Like this was obviously 2020 to 2021, which was like a kind of weird year. But again, right here. So we're seeing that it's November 2024, started December. It's kind of starting to trickle back up as opposed to what it was the spring market. And again, this is just Brockton itself. So I mean, if we're in finance and things like that, so these kind of things we kind of just look at like all the time, and we're like, cool. I don't want to like bore you guys to death here, but no, it's great, and it has again, like we mentioned, we can do this for any sort of city, and then as you know too, we can kind of do any property specific thing too, where how the appreciation will go up. I mentioned earlier, if you're looking to overbid on a home, you at least see the data and say, okay, I'm about to overbid by 30,000. When will it be 30,000 over, and things like that. So, here we go.
So if you can just tell everyone what we're taking a look at, I'm going to enlarge it a little bit so it can be clearer, and just walk us through this report card.
Cool. Is this
this is 335 Linwood. This is currently on the market right now. This is my baby. The house is absolutely gorgeous.
I love that. Cool. Yeah. So I mean, as you look at the at top, so listing price $899, pretty much saying that within the first year it's going to show 3.62% of appreciation onto it. So going to gain about 32,000 and a half in appreciation. After 2 years, so they're going up 7.5%. So again, if I saw it 899 and I felt like I felt that like 30 grand over would win me my deal, I could take a look at this report and say, all right, well, it's going to be worth that in a year anyways, and I plan on staying it for the next 5. So that's excellent. So you kind of got to look at it like that. Historical appreciation, it's really good to look at. So like the top right over there, it shows, this is within that area within the last 5 years. It's been appreciated by 7.37%. You can see that within the next 5 years of this property specific, The forecast is 22.44% of 899. So again, so you're trying to buy something, and if you're okay staying with the next 5 years, you're making 22% return on your investment there.
Wow. And we just lowered the price to 875. And so that's the equity that they'd be looking at
Yeah.
would increase by double.
Right. Yeah. Right. And then this is just kind of like a snapshot of the whole area itself. So the demographic by age, which is kind of really important to look at right now, because millennials themselves within the like 33 to 35-year-old are pretty much um, the biggest market, or the biggest group that's coming in soon. And there's still a lot of millennials that aren't 33 and 35 yet, if that makes sense. So that they're gonna be coming soon. So we expect that if you look at the 27 to 35, there's about 59K of them demographic wise in there. A lot of those people within the next couple of years are going to be looking to buy homes. You know what I mean? Again, the average home buyer in the United States about 33 years old. In Massachusetts, because it's a bit more expensive here, the average age is actually 36. So again, millennials are a massive, massive population in this country, and they're the next people up to kind of to enter the home market. And so that's what we're really excited about as well. And we always kind of tell our agents is have a good idea of the people that are kind of the biggest population in the market, because you kind of need to know how to deal with them. You know what I mean? Or not deal with them in a bad way, but how do they like to be spoken to? How do they like to communicate? Are they texters now? Are they phone call people? Is it email? How do you reach out to them? Are they on social media? Like, how do you kind of get their attention? Because I'm telling you, I think like I see little kids now, and I feel like they're talking like a different language. You know what I mean? So, like I coached high school soccer, and I had no idea what these kids are talking about half the time. Like, I don't know their vocabulary, and like and I'm like, wow, eventually you're going to be entering the home market, and people, and I'm going to be like this 50-year-old like ancient guy, and I'm going to be like, how do I connect with these people? So again, that's just a really cool. It's really cool just kind of knowing that information and keeping that in the back of your head. And again, testament to Sean that he thinks about those things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff I'm saying is out of the word from the big guy. So so it's cool, and it's cool to just have this data in front of you and see all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so this is another part of the report card. Can you break down what we're looking at?
Yeah, for sure. So so the first part, the first section, which says 6.9 months, that's essentially saying when the home value is forecasted like to be over the offer, your bid. So I think what the example was is the asking price is $899. You're asking 25,000 over, so your total bid is going to be 924,900 for the offer. That's what you're bidding for the home. It's essentially saying that in 6.9 months, that's what the home is going to be worth. That's what its forecasted appreciation is going to be worth. So again, if you're someone that's looking and very confident, that's like, hey, I'm staying in this house for I know at least the next 5 years, if not forever, or whatever. If you're thinking like that, 6.9 months to make your investment back, I don't really like. It's kind of a no brainer. You know what I mean? If you're able to do so.
Exactly.
And then within 5 years, you make 176. That again, that's their forecast within 5 years at 19.13% over. Other than like cryptocurrency, if you get like if you know what you're doing there's not too many stocks that give you that sort of massive return a lot. So that's where we always kind of say real estate, is one of the biggest investments and smartest investment you can do, especially in this country right now. And we always kind of like to say you can't really time. It's not really about timing the market. It's about time in the market. Eventually, we feel as if real estate, like I said earlier, if you're waiting for the home prices to go down, you're going to be waiting a really, really, really long time to be a homeowner. While these people
I
are
don't think they heard you in the back. Max, heard you say it again. Say it
Again,
again.
I repeat, if you're waiting for home prices to go down within the next couple of years, you are not going to be a homeowner for probably a really, really long time, unfortunately. But while these other people that are in the market right now are just gaining an incredible amount of equity that they can do like limitless things with as well. So again, like I kind of mentioned, it's not really timing the market; it's time in the market. When it comes to real estate, I believe.
And I feel like that's a mic drop. Like I feel like there's nothing else to that. Max, I thank you. I thank you so much for
No,
breaking
thank you guys.
the market down for us. We'd love to have you back and to just continue to keep our sellers and our buyers educated on what the market looks like. What is the rate for today?
So right now, on a 30-year fix, what we're looking at, national average is sitting at like 6.8 for a conventional 30-year fix right now. Which again, though, there's price cuts, announced by the Fed, so we feel like there are a couple, rate cuts um, coming pretty soon. With I think around like I don't want to just throw numbers up, but I think at least like 5 forecasted that are like definitely about to happen, which is why we're very bullish this year and why we think that within the next year they'll be in like the mid to low fives. So it's gonna be 2025 is gonna be a great year. Again, like I mentioned, right now is an excellent time to go out and start buying, but it's also an excellent time to get prepared, like make a team, talk to a loan officer, talk to a real estate agent, and just make a game plan and get ready because it's gonna be an awesome market. It's gonna be a great year.
So if you're telling me that you're projecting for the rates to come down to possibly fives, why would I want to get in now when rates are 6.8?
Because like I mentioned, every 1% is adding 5 million more people into the market. So if you're ready now, if you've spoken to a loan officer and you feel very comfortable with the monthly payment, right now, instead of having those 2% goes down and adding 10 million more people into the show, you could get a property now if you feel comfortable with that monthly payment, and then once they start coming down, you can refinance.
For those that did not hear you the first time, what is your name? How can we contact you?
So my name is Max Delafew. I'm a loan officer over here on Team Champanosian, #1 in the world. Awesome. He's you can contact me. My email is my cell phone number is 617-957-0775. Easiest way to get to me. And then my email is max.delafew@rate.com.
And spell your name for us.
So it's Max, M-A-X, and Delafew is D-E-U-L-O-F-E-U.
And say it in Spanish for us.
Max Delafew.
No, all of it. All of it.
Oh, all of it? Okay. Me puedes contactar a 617-957-0775 y mi email es max.deulofeu@rate.com y es Deulofeu Deulofeu.
Next time we're going to do an entire interview in Spanish.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. I appreciate you and looking forward to the road. What did you say? Send them to me.
Just send them. Yeah, if they're looking for help, send them. Awesome, Taylor. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. I look forward to doing it again.
All right. Have an amazing day.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Later. Bye. So as you guys know, I just want you educated. I want you educated, whether you choose to work with me, someone else on my Thumbprint Realty team, or another agent on another team. I just want you to be fully educated, have all the information, all of the knowledge, so you can make informed decisions. You cannot make the best decision for yourself and for your family if you don't have all of the information in order to make those informed decisions. And so make sure you tune in, keep it locked, go back and rewatch, because that is what we will continuously forever do, is keep you in the know and we're going to break it down to the easiest, simplest, most digestible pieces. Taylor made real estate easy is not just a catchy hashtag, it's my commitment to you for you to fully understand one of the most complicated purchases you will ever make in your life. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have an amazing day.